is the Virgin Mary? What role does she play in the Christian faith? What's her significance according to Bible and God? Okay, well there's a spicy one. If I don't know if you're familiar with how the Christian faith kind of played out, but we started out after Jesus. The church started to form, and that was what was called a capital C Catholic Church. Catholic means one church. And then as that went on, there were a couple splits off of the Catholic Church. The first one happened in the 5th or 6th century. And this is if you've heard of the old churches in Egypt, the Coptics, or the Jacobites, or any of those sort of things in some of the Middle East, these are really, really old traditional churches. That was the first split. The second split came off, and it's called the Orthodox Church. Has anybody ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the third split, and this was around 1000 AD, and the third split was with the Protestants. And then this, now, if you're a Catholic or if you've heard of it, they call this the Roman Catholics. Kind of to specify, it's not the same as this Catholic, it comes from the same lineage, but this is the one, that had rule from Rome. And this is called the Eastern Church, the Eastern Orthodox. They had their rule in Constantinople or Istanbul. So they were called the Eastern Church. What happened is, one of the things that now kind of caused some controversy between Protestants and Catholics, Roman Catholics, is this idea of Mary. How do you view Mary? And the funny thing is that people had a really high view of Mary all through history. Some didn't, but a lot of people did. And even early Protestants had a high view of Mary. But I think what happened is the Roman Catholics kind of took on more of a stronger view of Mary, and that got associated with Catholicism. And so the Protestants, to distance themselves from Catholics, were like, no, we don't think Mary is anything special. Does that make sense? So that's how it happened in history, kind of like a reaction, almost. So what Protestants believe, Mary's another person.
So rejection or rejected Mary or just
Not necessarily rejected Mary, but not consider her higher than other people, if you will. So we know in Luke, Mary's called blessed among all women. So we know she's really blessed. But Protestants just say, okay, she was blessed, that's cool, she's still a person.
What
What
is
is
the
it
word
kind of similar to
blessedness?
Judaism and how they see Jesus? Or not exactly the prophet, but as another wise teacher.
How the Jews see Jesus, even much worse. They more disregard. So the Protestants usually don't have any disregard towards Mary, but consider, there's Mary, there's Paul, there's Peter, there's Anthony, whatever. They're all people, they're all humans. The Roman Catholic view has changed a bit over time. And if you're familiar with Catholicism, there's different councils that happen through history, and the most recent one was Vatican II. And that happened in 1950s, 1960s, around there. And so now they'll use the term venerate. Mary, have you ever heard that?
Yes.
So what the heck does venerate mean? It kind of means a high amount of respect. So there's a high amount of respect. One more thing that is in there is that there's intercession. Oh, there's two more things. Intercession, and she's the highest of the saints. So she's the highest saint. Let me explain those. So Catholics believe that saints can intercede. People who have passed who are saints can intercede for other people. So you can pray to a saint. That saint isn't divine, they're not God, but they kind of pass that prayer, if you will, over to Jesus.
Can you repeat that again? I missed it.
The intercession part. So it's not that Catholics believe that Mary or any other saint are divine. They're not God. They don't answer prayers. So that's very clear in the Catholic realm. But what they do believe is that you can pray to a saint, and that saint will intercede, aka pass that prayer over to Jesus for him to answer. In the same way, you might pray for somebody else in this room. So you're interceding and you're kind of passing a prayer up to Jesus. So in the same way you can do that, how much more can somebody in heaven do that? They're standing right next to Jesus. So they'll, even more so than us, could intercede. And that's the whole concept behind it. And the third one is that she's the highest saint. So in the Bible, everybody's called a saint. All believers are called saints, but in Catholicism, you can reach a certain kind of sainthood that Mother Teresa, I think, recently gained, such that you are kind of a higher, I don't know if you want to say class or rank or something like that. The problem that Protestants have with that is a couple things. One is they're wary that this will turn into worship, which I think is a fair concern. You don't want to worship, and even the Roman Catholic Church doesn't want anybody to worship the saints. That's not a good thing to do in their mind. So it's wary of that. The other is that Protestants believe that intercession is only done by Jesus. And one thing that, one main reason they say that, there's no pattern of anybody in the Bible praying to saints.